Morning, and it's time for another music review. Now, for those who have been following my channel, and maybe a few new people, this is one of a series of videos that I've been doing in 2021, and I've been solely focusing on new music. I think it's neglected here on the VC, and so I thought, well, it's about time I listen to more, and so this is the seventh that I've done this year, and I've got a backlog. There's been a huge quantity of music being released, and if you're interested, allmusic.com is a really good site that pinpoints new releases. So on this seventh one, I'm not quite sure how many I'm going to cover, because I'm basically trying to keep the videos to around 10 to 15 minutes. I'm going to get started with the first one then, Life and Another. It's got by a strange sort of named artist called Mega Bog. Now, Mega Bog is in fact a moniker for the musician-songwriter Erin Burgee. Amazingly, this is the sixth album by this Mega Bog, or is it Mega Bog? Not quite sure. But anyway, I've missed all five of them, but I haven't missed this one, and I'm very pleased I haven't. She's described in the genre section as a mix of folk, country, and world music. That's what I read on Discogs. I have to say I've listened to this album now on 3 occasions, and it gets better on every listen. So I'm going to flash through the tracks to give you a flavour. It opens with Flower. This is a sort of Tropicalia groove type song. Tight jazzy guitar, harmonising leads, and it has a Chrissy Hynde-like vocal, very European style. Next up is Station to Station. This is dark synth pop. It's fluttering rhythms with hazy harmonies. And then to track 3, which is Weight of the Earth. And this track is jumpy upbeat. It's got an indie flavour for sure, but it has a European French feel. Well, that's what I thought anyway. It's stripped back, but it's got theatrical snippets. Next up is Crumbac, and here we get to meet the sax playing, which creates a really funky indie jazz groove. Exceptional it is too. And then to track 5, Butterfly, which cruises in with a jazz beat with sparkling piano and some rather odd lead vocals. More sax towards the end, and it becomes more fusion-like. But it's all rather enchanting, it has to be said. On side 1 is Life and Another, the title track. And Erin here again meshes jazz tones with alternate pop guitar chords. The sax is way back in the mix with trinkets of that soft lead guitar sound. And it's a real great closer. Very mysterious though. Then we flip it over, Maybe You Died. A moody mix of sound hooks that are dark and paradoxically friendly, and some graceful vocal harmonies. And then to the next track, Beagle in the Cloud. Can't remember that one, so on to Darmok, which has some drifting guitar, and it's an instrumental. Very pleasant indeed. And then to the 4th track on the second side, Adorable, and that is exactly what it is. It's got some ambient waves and soaring guitar waves. So to track 5, Bull of Heaven. This is heavy thrash. Caught me completely by surprise because there's not a track like this on the album. And where the hell did that come from? But then we move on to the next track, which is a beauty. Obsidian Lizard. It segues in from the previous, and it's a synthesized light piano track. Very folky, it has to be said. Oh then, and I make no apologies for going through all of this, because they're just little stabs at what I heard. Before a Black Tea skips in with Susie and the Banshees' gothic sound, which is truly original though. Animated touches are extravagant with the synth splashes, and it's got some churling vocals that gets a bit distorted but effective with the guitar solos. And this guitar solos almost like they've been delivered from 1977 San Francisco. So you get the gist of that. The finale is called Amelian. It's a wonderfully melodic, atmospheric finale. It contains storytelling. Closing melody fills up with choppy guitar chords. A marvellous chorus intertwined with guitars prog-like, and there's a crescendo of electronica, to fill out a wonderful lulling melody that stirs your muscles. I can't speak more highly of this album. It really did grip me, and for an old codger like me, that takes some doing. So I really suggest that if you want to find something new and get an instant hit off it, try Life and Another by Mega Bog. I may have got that wrong. It might be Mega Bog. I think it's Mega Bog. Okay, get to listen to it. An offering today is a new album by an artist that I have really loved in the past. His name's Jackson Browne. He's 72 years of age now, and he's just released a new album, Downhill to Everywhere. It's 5 decades since his debut, which I really liked, and I went on to buy the next 3. For Every Man, which was out in 73, Late for the Sky, my favourite, and I've got a review for that one, which I'll leave in the description, and The Pretender in 75, the Running on Empty 77, I sort of managed to avoid accidentally, it has to be said, but some of the songs that this man's written are truly memorable, and a lot of them he wrote for other artists. For example, Take It Easy, joint credit for that one, and the Eagles took that to the megasphere of popularity. These Days, another great song that was done by Greg Allman, and then Jamaica Say You Will, beautifully covered by the Byrds. So this man has got pedigree, and I did catch an album of his a few years ago, which I was very impressed with. But on this album, he has really attracted a core band and guest artists in abundance. Although the guitarist, Greg Lesk, who plays with Clapton and Big Bill Frisell, Val McCallum, he's been around, and I'll have a detail of the personnel on a slide somewhere. So let's get on with it. Let's go through the tracks briefly for this new album by Jackson Browne. Get kicked off by Still Loving for Something, which is a pretty gentle, typical sort of West Coast type rocker. My Cleveland Heart follows, and then I'm quickly going to highlight a few tracks. A Human Touch, track 4, has a gorgeous ballad duet, which is emotionally packed with guitars. Lovely song. Love is Love, next track, is slightly more Latino feel to this shuffle. Downhill from Everywhere, the title track, is a punchy rocker-like song. The soul backing vocals reminded me of Bobby King and the work he did on a Springsteen song from Human Touch. And then next up is The Dreamer. The voice is almost identical from Jackson from what we heard on Late for the Sky, and that was really food and drink for me. It's absolutely lovely, and it's complete with some Spanish feminine harmony vocals. Strongest track so far. Until Justice is Real is another up-tempo rocker, smart lyric, and a little soon to say. A 6-minute epic, this one. It's my bread and butter, and it's his as well. Solemn, melancholic pace, reflections on life errors, and heartfelt wrenched guitar solos. Beautiful stuff. It's a song for Barcelona. This is the highlight of the album. It's got a rumba feel to it, straight from Catalonia. Spanish shuffle, great guitar pieces, and the Spanish guitar mixes in almost like Santana, Carlos that is. Now I'm going to read the lyric to this, some of it anyway. I can't read the Spanish, but I wanted to give you a flavour of this, a brief one. So here we go, verse 1. I think I must have lost my way a long time ago, somewhere in the distance between love and business. I don't know. I didn't have that far to go to find my pleasure, though. Lovers like islands in an archipelago. Set in a sea of time, love is a place you find where, when two people rhyme, they begin to grow, learning the other 99 words for snow. This is a song for Barcelona, city of gravity and light, city that gave me back my fire and restored my appetite. I won't go through all of it, takes too long, but you've got a real good picture of what this man is all about. And this track is a gem. Offering on here is a band that, well, I miss this band. I haven't really gone into any of their music. I don't know why. I think I was partly put off by the bizarre name. And I'm talking about King Gizzard and the Lizard or something like that. Anyway, I came across this new album by them, Butterfly 300. They're an Australian psychedelic rock band, and would you believe it, this is their 18th studio album. They've been kicking them out by the bucket load. And most of the albums I read have a complete change of sound from album to album. And they also like putting out live work. They're very much a chameleon type band. And here they seem to have got a suite of 10 songs built around arpeggioed synth loops, adding the drums in, and more synths and the occasional acoustic guitars, and then they top that off in the mix with some more laid back and sugary vocals by their main man Stu Mackenzie. So let's quickly go through some of the tracks. Opens up with Yours, nice skippy synth rhythms, very spacey pop I thought, neat acoustic guitars. Segues into Shanghai, second track. This has a sort of Kate Bush-like vocals, but it's dominated by the synths, and it's very sugary, hippie-like, the vocals. Then we've got Dreams, segued in again, and this is very uplifting, but again it's bubbly pop. Music to smile about, however. Blue Morpho slowly slides into idyllic sleep as you listen to this one, the synths washing over you. Then Interior People, 5-minute track, acoustic guitar burrows in with the bass, raising the tempo before the mix of synth and vocals pick up. The pace, Walker takes his lead vocals up a notch, which gives it a rocky feel. But this could have been a smash back in 1969, psychedelic pop, if you take away the sophisticated production. Next up's Catching Smoke. This is very snoozy as well, vocal style that is. Very feminine I thought, but the tempo's glistening with newness. It's very distinctive percussion that adds a little bit of a punch. And then we get on to Killer Year, and the sameness is starting to wear off a little bit on me. And it's almost an overdose of psychedelic synths. Black Hot Soup arrives next, and the wave rush fits neatly with the vocals. They are a bit more complex with a touch of arpeggio. The climax here is heavier, more prog rock, and it's a welcome change, I must admit, amidst the intricate acoustic work. And so on to Ya Love. Can't even recall that much, but the closer, Butterfly 3000, the title track, it's got a sonic sort of feel, synth choral tone. It flutters and you start to tap your feet a bit. It's impressive, I guess. And then a crescendo of percussion takes us to the outro. So what do I make of it all? Well, it's all very pretty. I can see why they've attracted a following. I couldn't really get very emotionally attached to this. I might check out some of their other work. For fans of this band, and I know there are many, they'll probably think it's lovely. And as I say, back in 1969, I would probably have said the same. But it washes over me a little bit now at the grand old age of 67, but not dislikable. So over to you. New album by King Gizzard, or Lizard, or whatever it is.